Strike Freedom Gundam. Hey, what's up everybody? Robert184, 2 R's, 2 B's, and you'll notice this giant box in front of me, which is probably the most requested mobile suit that I've ever had to review. In this case, it's the Master Grade Strike Freedom Gundam, but as you can see in those big letters that go across the bottom, this is the full burst mode, which is basically the regular Strike Freedom with an extra action base and a whole bunch of shiny gold. This kit came out in December of 2006 at the same time as the regular one, and it sells for the price you can see there on the right, 7,000 Japanese yen. For a look around the box, you can see there its name and number, etc., and there it is, the full burst mode. And basically what that is they're just saying it's Strike Freedom when it sends off the Dragoons, which are these blue parts that also have effect parts, and it comes with these clear poles which keep them up so they can go and beam spam anybody in sight, which some people love and some people hate. Here's a picture of it here. You can see that it's going to come with a regular action base. At the time, I'm trying to remember if these were even on sale at the time. At the end of 2006, this was the action base. It came with this. This comes in blue with a blue stand here. And then you'll see these clear parts that go off. And like I said, they add this whoosh effect to the back of the Dragoons. But the big appeal of this one, especially of the full burst mode, is that inside Strike Freedom, its most famous characteristic, of course, is that it's got a gold inner frame. Think Inside Out Hyakushiki with regular Gundam colors on the top. And when you shoot off these blue Dragoons, what's awesome about this one is that it's got a whole bunch of gold bling underneath. And this looks very good here, but there are some other parts that may not look as good, which is something I'll talk about later. Now this is a feature that you'll get on the regular Strike Freedom. It's the fact that you swing up the wings here. They go down, there's 8 wings in total, or there's 8 Dragoons on 4 wings, you can call them, and when you spin the one up, it automatically opens them up, which is a very cool feature because of the very intriguing mechanism on the inside. And something that they never really showed in the anime is that this is gold on the inside, but you're able to pop these all out just so you can show off a little bit of gold even if you choose not to shoot out the Dragoons. And here is the special base stand that they're quite proud of. Of course, you can just go buy that anywhere in a retail Gundam shop nowadays in various colors. Onto the other side of the box, you can see a couple of very cool features, like for example the back skirt armor slides down, and with that it's got these weapons, of course, the gray ones on the side, and you're able to swing them back along with the beam cannon mounts so that you're able to have the legs go off to the side and these weapons not in the way, and that's something they didn't have on the old 1/100th before the Master Grade came out. Now these weapons are what? The Super Rakeruta. Anyway, I don't even know how to say those, but anyway, it's French for super, and that's going to pop out there. And here, of course, you have its Big Daddy weapon. Besides the Dragoons, of course, which are just awesome looking, you have the beam rifle, which you can attach the 2 of them that it comes with to make the long beam rifle. And of course, there's a small amount of transformation involved, but at the end of the day, it's just there to look cool. Inside it's showing off, hey, we've got gold parts all over the place. A very cool looking pose there as you put it up on the action base. And then it's going to show off some of the other gimmicks. And if you've built Master Grades like Destiny or Infinite Justice, you'll be familiar with some of them, like the knee mechanism. You're going to get the 180 here, and the knee is going to bend into 2 parts here. You can see here, though, that the gold is not always consistent, and that's something I'll talk about later. You're able to pop the shoulders out and forward. If you pop this part on the back, then you're able to move the back, which is quite a cool thing. Here, of course, we've got the beam saber, which you're able to combine. And then that's just showing off the knees. You put these little thruster vanes on the back. You are going to be able to open the cockpit and show off a very tiny Kira Jesus Yamato, and you get a little Lex Klein with that. And you can put on all sorts of markings, Zaft and the regular ones if you so choose. I'm afraid this photo is not going to do it all that well, but here you're going to see all the parts. You're going to get the regular stand that the Strike Freedom comes with, this action base, the clear parts, the whoosh parts, and the Dragoons shooting off, and gold underneath. But I remember when I was first deciding whether to buy the regular one or this one, the reason I went with the regular one is that you get gold parts for this in the most noticeable places. But as soon as you look at that picture, and more importantly, if you've ever seen one built on display, you'll see that there are a whole bunch of inner frame details that are just ugly, dull, goldish like, that matches nothing like the bling that you're going to get on these very visible parts. So I remember being very disappointed with this, and I chose not to buy it simply for the fact that the gold parts are going to look great and the rest is going to look terrible. And I wish that was something that you could see better on this picture, because I'm sure a lot of people bought that seeing these beautifully painted ones where everything is nice gold, and then when they put it together they're like, hey, all of a sudden half of the gold frame looking out here looks pretty terrible. And if you're into cool plastic posters, it's actually pretty well made. You're going to have the Strike Freedom staring down with the Destiny, of course, up there, and their respective, well, early in the series ladies there. You've got Shin on the right, here on the left, good old Lux, and Showdown, Strike Freedom versus Destiny. It talks about their ages, heights, weights of all the characters. Anyway, a nice little throw in if you're going to spend the extra money on the full burst mode. The manual has the same shot as the cover, except with the words not surrounding all over it. I actually really don't like this box and this cover, but some people might, so whatever, that's totally up to you. There's some information, of course, and as you open it up, you're going to get some fictional backstory, all the different fictional parts, some instructions on how to put on the decals, the table of contents. But here's where it gets a little bit interesting, and this is looking at the plates. Of course, I could go through and count the alphabet off for you, but when you look at this, you're going to see that there are a lot of plates with a whole bunch of X's on there. And when you work your way through, pretty much up to O plate is going to be the normal Strike Freedom. And that's cool because that's the action base that you're going to get, but you'll notice there's X's all the way up to there. And then you're going to get the P parts, and these parts are basically hodgepodge. They took all of these X's that you see on these previous plates, they put those parts on the P plate and painted them gold. So pretty much, I was complaining earlier that not everything is going to be gold on the inner frame. They tried to take the most important parts and put them all on one additional plate. So you're going to end up throwing out these ones from the other plates that are not shiny gold and focus on these. Now my complaint being, they really should have done a couple more plates, or if you're going to throw out 1/3 of 3 plates, why not just make all 3 of those plates gold? So you're only going to get 2 plated parts, and the other part that you're going to get is the main parts that go inside the wings, so when you shoot off the Dragoons, those look gold, and that's fine. But the big thing that just drives me crazy about this kit is, why did they make one whole new plate? I'm sure that cost them a lot of money, and they could have just made us pay 500 yen more for 2 more gold-plated plates, and then you wouldn't have to put in any effort into this kit. It would look awesome out of the box. It's always interesting to look at the bottom of these special ones like Destiny and see how much its wings are, etc. But anyway, here you're going to have the K plate and the P plate, and that's the special hodgepodge one, 2,700 yen. So in other words, don't lose it. The parts themselves are 240 yen a piece. So of course they're stopping you from just buying the regular master grade and just ordering that plate. You might as well just buy the kit at that price. No real complaints about the rest of the manual. You build the body and head here. I always like it when they show you which plates you're going to use to build the arms, so you just lay those out, put the rest away. Anyway, as you move through it, you get the leg unit, some cool line art, some story and explanation about that. Then you're going to get into the waist unit and build up those gray long rifles and the wings. That really, love it or hate it, Strike Freedom, that is what makes it awesome or horrible, depending on how you want to look at it. And when you open this up, they actually don't show it off too much, except of course for that full burst with the model, which to me is better than the cover art. And there it is. On the Infinite Justice box, you have it facing off with Destiny, and here you have Kira facing off with Legend. I would love to recreate that in Master Grade. As you move through the rest, you're just going to build up the Dragoons and the weapons, etc. And when you get to the back, they're going to show you how to build the bases, both of them. And then with these clear rods that you're going to get to put on the effect parts when you shoot out the Dragoons, you're supposed to bend them. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to save this, they don't work. When you put the weight on here, these things are just going to collapse over, and you're either going to have to order some new ones or just not deal with them at all, because these effect parts are horrible, and they're just going to disappoint you, and it'll drive you crazy right out of the box. So this is how they should look when they're all on display, and how to put on the decals. And on the back we have a painting guide, a very cool Superman with wings out, and otherwise Strike Freedom looking pretty sharp here. So when this is all laid out, you're going to get an idea of just how many parts there are here. Stay tuned for the next thing where I'll go through them. But I want to warn you here. Usually I like to review kits right out of the box with lining. In this case, if you're wondering what this looks like out of the box, this is the wrong video. And that is simply because I spent a couple bucks and I bought this gold Gundam marker. And the reason for that is this thing looks horrible. I'm going to spoil it right now for you. If you just use the gold that they give you, then some of these parts, like on the hand, etc., are going to be awesome. And then you're going to have parts on the elbow that look terrible because they're this horrible gold that just you don't want to show off next to the shiny gold. And for me, that just wrecked the whole kit. And the way that I solved that is by just taking this, and anywhere where it wasn't shiny gold, that it's visible to the outside, I went over it. And you'll notice that it's not the same gold, but believe me, it's a lot better than the pukey gold that it would be otherwise. So anyway, when you're watching this kit, remember that everything is touched up with these, and if you didn't do that, you would have shiny and horrible right next to each other, and I think it would wreck the Gundam. So if you're going to spend 7,000, spend a couple more bucks, and you'll be quite happy for it. So that wraps up this introduction. Don't forget to stay tuned for the next part with the parts. As always, Robert184 gundam.tk. It's an old kit, you probably have built it yourself, so why don't you let me know what you think of this or the full burst mode down below with a comment there. Like if you do for the video, don't if you don't, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching.